Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Whitney has the evening off. Spokane leaders are considering declaring a crisis over rising rates of overdoses and drug deaths. KREM 2 Shannon Mowdy has new numbers from state health officials that highlight just how bad the problem is right here in Spokane County. Shannon?
Well, time and time again, Washington Department of Health data shows Spokane County exceeds state averages for overdoses and deaths. And now the public is pushing City Council for more action. A public safety and health briefing Monday painted a sobering picture, a 2,000% increase between 2019 and 2022 in Spokane County's overdose deaths for synthetic opioids.
I will certainly expect to see a even greater when we see the 2023 data.
Now, Dr. Bob Lutz with Washington's Department of Health has new calculations using some of the most recent statistics from Spokane County.
This number will really amaze the audience. From 2017, where we really had essentially no known overdoses from fentanyl, to 2023 preliminary data, we have a 5,800, yes, that's 5,800% increase in the number of people who have overdosed from fentanyl.
The staggering rise in overdoses and deaths has increased calls for Spokane City leaders to take action.
We could declare an emergency. We don't have the resources to really double down with additional funding.
KREM 2 News also spoke with Erin Hutt, communications director for Mayor Lisa Brown's office. She says the city could declare a public health crisis, but it would largely be to raise awareness and wouldn't open up any additional tools to combat the crisis. Though Dr. Lutz says awareness and reducing stigma could go a long way.
Around education, around supporting people who have substance use issues and for treatment.
Hutt says the city is looking at taking some action, though. While discussions on a crisis declaration continue, the city has asked the regional health department to coordinate a more centralized overdose dashboard. Funds from opioid settlements may also be used to staff up behavioral response units. The city is also expecting to hear from the state legislature later this week on a $1 million request to expand street medic teams. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
All right, Shannon, thank you very much. In the meantime, the Spokane City Council talked again about changing the open forum rules last night. The amendment passed last night says that people are allowed to stand, but they have to follow some rules to keep compliance with the fire code and with the Americans with Disabilities Act. So if you stand, you can't be blocking the aisles or blocking another person's view. That point actually became an issue during the meeting when someone stood in front of another person in the audience.
The action is clearly there to intimidate. This is a problem. We're trying to do what's in the rules, but there are a couple people who are specifically trying to cause problems. This is not acceptable behavior here.
Please order, no outbursts in the chambers.
Council passed these new rules with a 6-1 vote. All of this started back in November when a group of pro-Palestine protesters interrupted a council meeting. Since then, people at meetings have been saying they should be allowed to stand as a form of free speech.
A lot of this is still lingering from that night in November, and we're still dealing with that.
I agree. If nobody's happy, then we may almost be right there in the middle to accomplish other things in our city government.
They also passed an amendment last night that states that people cannot use council meetings for campaigning. In other news, a body was found near a bridge, on South Brown Street downtown. Here's what we know right now. Police say they received a call just after noon about a body being found. It is still early in the investigation and few details have been released. This is a developing story. We will be sure to bring you any updates just as soon as they come in. The trial for the former Idaho State Police trooper accused of killing his wife continued today. The defendant claims his wife shot herself, but prosecutors say they can prove he was responsible for her death. At the time of Kendi Howard's death, she and the suspect Daniel Howard were going through a divorce. The state spent most of the day trying to establish that Kendi was not suicidal based on the plans that she was making once that divorce was finalized. Those plans included buying a house in her hometown of Kamei to be closer to her family and to her new boyfriend, Dan Prado. He testified today about an incident between Kendi and her husband a month before her death. She told Prado she abruptly woke up in the middle of the night to see her husband standing over her, wearing gloves and holding an object. Then she said she saw a pistol magazine on the floor. Prado says she felt like Howard was going to kill her. The following morning, she went to Kamiah. Her boyfriend told her not to go back home to Athol. Here was her response.
She said to me, she said, hey, she's not scared to go back. She goes, but he knows now. He knows now. He almost got caught. He got caught. He's not, her words were, he's not dumb enough to try that or anything like that again because he was caught.
Prado added Kendi was stressed about the divorce, but says that she was excited about her plans to move forward with a new home, even transferring work at a clinic in Kamiah after the move. We know from opening arguments the defense is trying to prove that Kendi shot herself. This afternoon, a friend of Kendi testified that she did not like guns, never shot them at the range, and never wanted a gun. All right, let's take a quick break from the headlines and talk weather. After snow blanketed parts of the inland Northwest, the sunshine returned this afternoon. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo for more on what we can expect in the coming hours and days. Jeremy?
Well, it's kind of more of the same. Really, it's emphasis on the kind of. Clear skies during the day means our temperatures are going to keep warming up each afternoon, but clear skies overnight means it's going to get cold each and every morning. Right now, we sit in the upper 30s. Pretty warm considering it has been snowing and we still have snow on the ground. A little bit of snow and graupel kind of coming to an end and working its way out. Estelle just south of Coeur d'Alene. Some more down across parts of the Palouse, but overall, it looks like things are starting to wind down. We're waning now that we're getting rid of some of the energy given by the sun, and we get that this time of year because the sun angle gets a little bit higher. Overnight, expect things to clear out and cool down. Tomorrow winds up looking almost identical to today, except get rid of the morning fog and get rid of the afternoon showers. Because of that, we climb comfortably into the 40s. Thursday starts out cold again, 40s again in the afternoon. Friday, a few more clouds build throughout the day, but despite that, our temperatures get even warmer, 47 by the end of the day. It looks like we are heading into a warm, sunny stretch the next few, but enjoy it while you can. Big changes afoot by the weekend.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. Thank you very much.